your commitment of time is sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone. And so the fact that you gave the WVPEC your time to listen and to ask questions and to share is really what this is all about. And I appreciate it, certainly on behalf of the WVPEC. We greatly appreciate the time you gave to be a part of this. And so I just want to, this is about a little bit about reflection. And so a couple of the points that I want to make as we close out this session for the Legislative Forum. One is about funding. And I'm not just saying this, Craig, because the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee is sitting straight ahead of me. But what I will say is this. In a couple of the presentations was talking about federal funding and federal grants that were available. You know, what I would reach out to the legislature and say, please don't ever eliminate funding that matches federal dollars. Because I've never believed that West Virginia received or reached out and have gotten the federal dollars that they deserve. When we look at other states. So I would just say always be careful in terms of when funding is changed or budgets are cut. Don't cut where we can match dollar for dollar with federal money, because those monies are critical to programs here in West Virginia. One of the, not only for grants around our state, but for research. That we can continue to build on in this state, which is so important, higher ed and many of our institutions, those things that we're able to study and come back with hopefully good answers or parts of a solution to a challenge that we are facing. The other thing that I heard that I thought was very good was new collar jobs. We've heard of white collar and blue collar. Now we're talking about new collar jobs, and maybe those opportunities for internships, which actually give our young people and our students real life experiences which enable them to be better ready. When talking about definition for readiness, maybe that is part of that readiness definition are those internship or apprenticeship possibilities that gives real world experience. And I think maybe it was Susan that talked about leapfrogging, that as we look at where we need to be, maybe we don't have to take every step. Maybe we can leapfrog. I remember when Joe was governor, we had the great honor of being able to travel to China. And what struck me as so interesting is that, you know, for a long time, China was very much behind the 8 ball. All of a sudden, they started catching up. And one of the things, the way they caught up, was with their telephones. They skipped landlines. Once they got into the world of communication, they didn't go and follow every step of what countries had done since the telephone had been invented. They looked at where the telephone was, and they went immediately to the cell phone. So I was just struck by the fact that when you're in China, you don't see landline phones anywhere because they just leapfrogged that step and went right to the front of the line. So, you know, when we're thinking about moving forward, maybe we don't have to go to every spoke on the wheel. You know, maybe we can just skip to the bigger wheel and continue to move forward. And what I would close by saying is this: the West Virginia Public Education Collaborative is just what that says. Hopefully, we will be a collaborative engine to help West Virginia forward, actually move forward. We want to be a part of that collaboration. Our collaboration with the Hunt Institute, which has made our forums the success that they are and the ability to even pull them off. Our collaboration with higher ed, with K-12, with the Rural Education Trust, with the Education Alliance, with the Governor's Office, with the legislature. I think if we learn nothing else from our meetings that we have together, it's this. we can accomplish so much more collectively than any one of us in this room can accomplish individually. And what we accomplish is for our children, for the children of this state. And I, too, agree with, now Stan, I think you said it, and what did the mayor say? If it's
not for all, it's not for us.
If it's not for all, it's not for us. You know, through my background in education, I've always said it should not matter what a child's zip code. Every child in this state deserves the same quality of education, the same opportunities, the same possibilities to be able to dream just as big a dream as any child in West Virginia. And so I agree. If it's not for all of us, it's not for us. And we have heard some wonderful ideas. You all have contributed through your conversation, through your input, but most of all through listening and hearing what's going on throughout our state, throughout our country. Again, thank you. It really is a privilege to serve with this group of people. It's a privilege to be able to stand here before you today and just say I was very honored to be a part of it, and thank you to each and every one of you. Travel safe.
I want to recognize one other person, Maggie McDonald. Is a graduate student, master scribe. She has done an extraordinary job of pulling together all the material for this program and is now bearing the burden of documenting all the good ideas. So thank you, Maggie.